a great pleasure in extending the warmest possible welcome to these inspirational fellow Australians who have made outstanding contributions to our country and indeed to the world. We're very fortunate to have these wonderful Australians with us today and to share their amazing stories of contribution to the community and to the nation.
Now, for the whole tour, can I point out, this is special. It's the Australian of the Year. It's a tour of South Australia. It's not happening anywhere else, not in Sydney, not in Melbourne, not in Perth, only in South Australia. And that's because your team in South Australia do such a great job. Jonathan Welch last year toured around South Australia, and because of that success, for the first time ever, all 4 Australians of the Year are all here in one place. And I think that deserves a very special South Australian round of applause. Importantly, what you said, Mick, was what it means to be the Australian of the Year. It's not just about you, it's about lots of other Australians.
Yeah, it's nice to be recognised for what you've done, but you never achieve anything on your own. There's a lot of people helping you. Most good things individuals don't achieve. There's groups of individuals that do that.
You know, you're a barrister, you're a lawyer, you've looked after Indigenous land rights all over Australia, but you said this year you want to really look after education and make that a priority for all Australians. So that would make sense if you had a teacher as the new Australian of the Year.
Teachers were so important in my life.
Can you tell us about that? Why were they so important, Mick?
Well, they're really, apart from your parents, I think, your first real role models. They're so important in your development and how you turn out. Right? And we, as a society, I don't think value our teachers like we should.
For young people out there, let's crack right into it. What are some of your messages? You talked about how you can make a difference. I know we hear about that all the time, but what are your messages for these young people out there?
Good morning, thanks for having us, especially on my 30th. This is a great moment. I think I'll always remember where I was on my 30th. Look, obviously the messages that I'm promoting are within the anti-violence sphere. It's an area that's not always popular. It amazes me how we'll defend our right to fight, how we think it's a rite of passage, how we think it's the bravest option sometimes is to knock someone out or grab a bat and take to them. I find that fascinating because to me any idiot with an arm or a leg or a foot can hurt somebody. It doesn't take a genius to hurt somebody. But we don't often celebrate the people that walk away. We talk about action, sometimes we don't talk enough about restraint. I've worked with over 1,000 people that have experienced violence firsthand, and I can tell you that it's not pretty up close. There's nothing good that comes from it, and I guess that's the message that I'm trying to get out this year, is to look at violence as being quite a horrific act, never an act of courage or bravery. It's actually quite the opposite, which is, it's a difficult thing because, like I say, we celebrate it on TV. It's on TV a lot. Our sports stars are often involved in fighting. We celebrate that instead of celebrating the ones that are doing fantastic things. I do believe people that have the capacity to walk and talk and function normally, because a lot of people out there can't, we take that for granted, then we have an obligation to advocate for those that can't. If we're able to experience an issue and talk about that, we have a sense of duty to educate people about that. So I don't know if I was really inspired. I was just really outraged, probably, and through that was driven to action.
That Pat was talking about, his first donation was $700, but it was back in the 1960s. So in the 1960s, $700 could buy a new Holden, standard model. No mags back then. $700. He had a big overdraft, but he decided to give the money to someone who, Pat says, needed it more. So from there, Pat's gone on and donated millions of dollars and help raise lots of money in lots of areas for children, also for cancer and stroke research. So Pat's done some amazing work, and I suppose for him, if you heard from Jonty's experience came out of some very, and her pursuits now have come out of very sad personal experience. With Pat, he just wanted to be able to give and help.
I fully believe that we are responsible to build better Australia for our present generation and our future generation. And I have taken on many projects in my life since I come to Australia. I was fortunate to be asked to join the Lions Club. The Lions Club is a community service club helping the needy people. And 41 years ago, and I had the first experience how good it is to give, because I fully believe that give is receiving. Now I feel that the media play a big role to make Australia a happier country, and therefore I started an association which we call Positive News.
So when I was steaming down the night with one of my boats to search for Nath, I actually thought about putting a cage on the rocks with some floats on it, and we came up with the Silent Sentry. And that's a cage with 3 floats with a lever on top of it. So if someone actually falls off the rocks, their friend, because you always go fishing with a friend, they roll the float down to you. The silent sentries at the salmon hole in the last 12 months alone have saved 3 lives. So that's one of our initiatives, and that's a huge reward, for us and our family to actually achieve that. So the other initiative we took on also, because we realised people do move along the coast and fish at different places, is that we have 60 self-inflating vests. And we also saved the life of a young 13-year-old boy last year with that. So we are making a difference, and it's very satisfying for myself, our whole family, to achieve this. And looking here today, and it's something I'm very passionate about in Western Australia, I believe that we have to actually educate our young Australians.
It's contributions to other people, to other Australians. And you can see here the variety of different skills and experiences. And some, with Pat's been a contributor to charity and to people for over 40 years. Mick, around the same for the Indigenous people and a whole lot of other, just pretty much just social justice in Australia. Jonty has really been involved in this area for 6 or 8 years, really sadly, through her own very personal loss. Graham, 30 years being a sea rescuer, 30 years being out there, just being able to be a commercial fisherman and being available to actually be one of those boats that goes out and searches for people and watercraft.
Read lots and lots, particularly biography, autobiography and history. There's nothing more enjoyable than reading, or perhaps there are a few things more.
The thing that this process has taught me is that anybody can be nominated, and to not underestimate the value that we have on those around us.
I believe in this country, no one should go hungry, no one should be poor, and everyone should be, we all should be much the same.
There's like hundreds of thousands of people daily help people out, and we need to recognise that more. It's very important, and it actually starts from back in your age. It doesn't matter whether it's someone broken down on the road or in the playground or in the school. Just stop and help them.
Give me a smile.
Nice to be recognised for what you've done.